Coach, I know you emphasized a lot of different things in practice yesterday, but a couple of things I heard you talking about a lot were offensive rebounding and paint touches. It seemed like you guys did a pretty good job both those things tonight.
You know, I thought we were a little quick to pull the three. You know, we got off to a poor start shooting three, but it's important that we get there, and obviously rebounding is the key, because, you know, we really thought they'd show us some zone, which they did, but maybe thought they'd see a little bit more than we did. But we didn't want that to slow us down from getting to the offensive glass. And I thought our pace early, getting down the floor, was really good for us. I thought that was good, but it's important that we do try to get those paint touches, and obviously when you're not shooting the ball well, we started the game, it's really imperative that we come up with some offensive rebounds.
How were you all able to make the spacing work with Felix and Cade out there at the same time?
Well, you know, Cade can play all over the court, really, and you know, the more and more he's out there, you guys are watching him develop right in front of him, where he's feeling more and more at ease and doing some things. And I think offensively, the fact that those guys have competed against each other from day one, since Felix got here all summer. I've said before, they didn't get any rest at all. They had to play almost every rep, and the fact that we mixed the lineup the way we have done, I think they're comfortable playing together.
Rick, with Cade and Jordan both coming off the bench, just how valuable is what they are giving you right now coming off the bench?
Well, I do. I think it's really valuable in the fact that Jordan's been he's been great, and I think when Cam gets back, and we're hoping by the time we roll into conference play that we really have a 10-man rotation. We've got 10 scholarship players. We hope we can work that out, or we can maybe sustain some things a little bit longer. But that will be determined by our players and their development as they continue to grow. But and I look at Jordan as a starter. You know, I thought Igor really was locked in tonight. He got himself in some foul trouble, but we miss him when he's out there. He has become really a terrific offensive rebounder for us. But Cade comes in, and I think he brings us a different look. And again, the more he's out there, Jordan I thought was really key in the second half. I thought him getting aggressive, getting back, getting downhill, putting pressure on the lane was important to us, because we didn't want to bog down. And I thought when Z came out, he kept us moving.
Go Grant, Mike, Reese. What's it say about this offense or this team to go 2-15 in the first half from 3 and then 8-14 second half?
Well, we probably should have been 2 for 10, probably. Again, I know 3 or 4 off the top of my head that I just thought we got anxious, and but you know, it's a fine line, Grant. You know, where we're really trying to. We want our guys to play free. We want them to play, you know, and I know how hard we work. You know, I know how well I think we can shoot the ball. I was a little worried today because I was sitting watching us shoot around, and man, we were making shots. I mean, I'm like, boy, I don't know if I like this right now or not. And I hope we haven't used them up, and I felt like that in the first half, because all the guys were. That's something, you know. Obviously, I'm sitting there watching them a lot, and but they listen. You know, we came out and started talking about, again, paint touches, getting there, inside out, trying to get better looks, and we do feel at some point in time we're gonna make some. You know, we're gonna start making some shots, and then. But I thought you got to give Syracuse a lot of credit early too. I thought they really guarded. I thought they were very physical. I thought they did to us what we like to do to people. They were blowing up some of our screening actions. We weren't setting good screens early at all, anywhere really with any consistency, and with that, and they were just like Chaz pushing them out. I mean, there's a gap. I was watching some film at halftime. There was gaps like that. That if you do that, you're not going to get free. And but we did do a little bit better job to start the second half screening.
Rick, with Cade, it looks like he's playing the exact type of role that his skill set is cut out for. Is that the case, and what does it take for a player to fully lean into who they are and doing it well?
Well, he is, and again, you know, a lot of credit to Coach Polinsky. You know, he watched Cade, knew him, evaluated him at a level, and what he saw in Cade was a big time competitive spirit, and a guy that was willing to get better. He played football for a long time, both he and Bishop football guys, and I think their mentality. I mean, Bishop competes when he's out there just like Cade. They're competitors, and obviously we knew that if he would work and get better. Like a year ago, I mean, I could sit here today and say, you know, I wish we would have redshirted a year ago. That was the plan actually coming in. But a year ago this time, our guys came and said, we're going to have him. And but the fact is, he puts his time in. When you do the process, when you can really understand, and what you said is a key thing with guys early, understanding that they've got to bring something early, and then their games get expanded. But we've got to count on certain things with Cade or Bishop or whoever, and it gets down to the more consistently you get doing certain things, you earn trust. Not only, I think, with your coaches and teammates, but more importantly with yourself. You realize, I got this now I can take another step, and we've watched Cade do that.
So, Reese, Page, Ryan.
Coach, kind of going off that in the back here, how do you get Cade to consistently play like this with that energy that you had today?
Well, he's had some games where he's done this, and then he's gone backwards. And I tell him, there's a lot of guys that when they can't handle success, and we talk about getting better every day. The process, we believe in it. You got to go through, but it's just human nature. I'm sure these guys on social media and people really start telling them this, that, whatever, and you can't let it down. I mean, I don't think we've got. Again, I don't think there's very many players that play the game that can afford to let down if they really want to be good, because you start letting down and not going at it with everything you have every day with the idea you got to get better. And where these guys want to eventually be when they're done with college, they all have a long way to go. And to get there, it's a part of that process is learning how to make yourself work even when you have success. How can I continue to get better? And it's hard because it's human nature when you start feeling good about yourself. And I've told him before, actually before, I think it might have been not this game, but the game before, I asked if they knew anything about a proud peacock and what a proud peacock becomes. And we know that it becomes a feather duster. So I said, if what you did today is big to you, that means you haven't done anything to get better. And I don't think Cade's any different than anybody else. I've seen it happen to a lot of players, and they go through it, and you ask them why, and you talk about it afterwards, but they will always have that one answer that coaches hate to hear: I don't know. And that's the question you're always trying to figure out, that they do know why there is slippage and inconsistency.
There were a number of times throughout the game where the defense was really feeding the offense, whether it's fueled by Igor or Zakai. What did you like about how much their offense was fueled by the defense tonight?
Well, so far this group has been good at it. We've been able to create some offense with our defense and not have to go down, obviously play against a set defense all the time. They did that to us. I mean, when they got out a couple times in transition because of our turnovers, and you can't guard turnovers, you can't guard poor shot selection, you can't guard an unbalanced court. And when we're keep our flow offensively, but when we can get active with deflections and break it loose, we need those plays. I mean, it's important that you get some of those and get out and run. Try to get. I don't think we got any where we really got out and ran hard enough on the wings tonight. I do think we had a couple of chances where we could have had a pipe run, but we didn't see it. But we've got to get consistently better at that, and obviously hoping that our defense can create some offense for us.
Continuing the theme of Cade, he's talked about, like, the day y'all got back from Detroit, having a conversation with you about how we need to attack the offseason. What were the points of emphasis for you in that conversation?
Well, one, he's not afraid to work. We know that. So that's something that we didn't have to challenge him about that. We challenged him about, one, improving his shot and developing a game offensively. And I do think this, as time goes on, he really works at shooting the ball, and when he gets comfortable, he'll do it. But it's got to be on his terms, and we're going to continue to work at that with him. He's very athletic. He's wiry, strong. I worried tonight coming in that we were going to have to, and they started the game with exactly what I told the guys they would do, trying to bounce him or Felix or Igor to the rim, like Amir did with us with the Baylor game, and we were concerned about that, and knowing that he's a good player out of the post too. But Kay's he's gonna do everything he can. He's got a little bit of a, like Z in him, a little stubborn streak where, you know, he when he messes up, he wants to come back and fix it right away. Where that's when Z gets himself in trouble, it's because he's so hard on himself. Kay's got that, and it's a, I don't know if I should say stubborn, it's probably more of a competitive spirit about it. They don't want to mess up. They want to get it right. And when they know they're not doing what they're capable of, they have a tendency to try to do too much. And Cade was doing that earlier in the year. He was trying to do some of that, but I think the more I watch him, he's comfortable, starting to settle in. But got to get, like all of us, we've all got to get better. And but I know he's going to do his part.
Anything else? Last one over there.
Rick, you've had to coach a lot of schools, and in some places you had to build a program up. I was wondering what your impression is of Red Autry, what he's doing here in year 2, and the challenge he still faces following Jim Boeheim.
You know, I will say this: we as coaches, you know, we're breaking down the scout. First thing that Greg Polinsky, and Greg's been around this game a long, long time. He came in, and first thing he said to me, he said, "You can tell Coach Autry has really gotten comfortable with who he is and how he wants to play." He said they're a much, much better man defensive team right now, and I think he's doing his part of, you know, they're playing more man than Jim would play. You know, still play the zone some, which, I mean, people wouldn't know. I mean, we have a zone too. We just don't use it that much. And I think that he has decided that, you know, they're going to guard. And I thought they guarded us as well as anybody's guarded us all year. I thought they guarded. But he'll be like, you know, it's really interesting. Back when I got my first coaching job a long time ago, I went to a lot of people that I really respected. And every one of those guys told me it's going to take you 5 years. 5 years to figure out exactly how you think you want to play this game. And they all said, you better hope you get 5 years. And I know this, they've got a guy there at Syracuse and that loves that university. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. And he's only going to continue to get better at what he does. And the fact is, I can look at him now and I think I can see his conviction of what he believes in on the court, and he do it well. You think about it, he comes in the game tonight, losing a guy that scored averages 19 points a game. Now, I'm gonna tell you, when they told me he wasn't playing, I didn't like it. I really didn't, because we had prepared so hard to guard that. And I'm sitting there thinking, you know, somebody's gonna have a chance to do some things, maybe play more minutes. But I can tell you this, from his perspective, I know what he was going through, like 19 points or 19 points. How are we gonna generate it? And I thought that their game plan was sound, doing what they were doing. But he's a good coach. I'm telling you, he's a really good coach. And I would say this, thinking about my second year in coaching, he's lucky that he's got a great mentor in Jim Boeheim, who I know Jim is dying to see him continue to carry on that program and what they built there. And that's a great thing for him. I was lucky my second year that I got to go to Providence, and fortunate to have Dave Gavitt in the Big East office there, where I got to spend time with Dave and help me through some things. And not that Red Autry needs any of that, but I look back and that was helpful to me. But they've got the right guy there, and he's going to get the job done. There's no question in my mind. He's getting the job done, and he'll continue to do what he needs to do.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.